Good evening. Let me start discussing to you Chapter 3. And let me share the screen. Sunod-sunod na to, ha? Lagi tayong meron akong recording lagi ngayon, ha? We may not have face to Zoom classes, but hopefully by next week ay magkaroon tayo miski at least one before the midterm. Midterm na. Okay? So, Chapter 3. Natapos na natin ang analyzing the transaction, preparation of dali lang, preparation of the journal entry in the journal, posting sa ledger, yung mga assignment. I hope you have already seen the exercises that I have uploaded. Bali 5 yon. Binigay ko na rin lahat sa inyo para yung section A ay makita rin yung naging assignment ng section B and so on and so forth in section C. We have also discussed how to prepare the unadjusted trial balance coming from the ledgers, unadjusted trial balance. I also discussed to you recording preparation or how to detect errors in the trial balance. Remember, hindi lahat ng balansyado ay tama. Okay? So, next, this chapter will discuss to you the adjusting process. I have to admit, when I was in college, medyo nahirapan ako dito. Nakakalito ito. But you only have to know and review this video and the PowerPoint that I already sent to you. After this, I will be giving you an assignment which you will have to submit to me. Okay? You will have to submit to me. Okay? Kasi importante yan. Ay importante na magawa niyo yun sa working papers. Yung yellow, yung malapad, ang working papers. At isasubmit ninyo sa akin ang hard copy. First time ko magbibigay ng assignment before the midterm. And then midterm is supposed to start next week on Monday, pero i-adjust natin mga 1 week kasi nga medyo na-delay tayo. Anyway, over this weekend, pilitin ko matapos to tonight at makapag-record pa na isa sa Chapter 4 para makita na maka-advance tayo. I will also give the solution to the assignment that I will give you later. Take note, sa Moodle na tayo lagi. I-upload ko to sa Moodle at assignment, submission sa Moodle din. Okay? So Chapter 3 is about adjusting process. As I have discussed to you the concept that all the matching concept, all expenses incurred for the month should be recorded on that month, and all income that you earn during that month or that period should be reported on the same period. That is the matching concept. Importante yan. Kaya naman, you need to adjust some accounts at the end of every accounting period. Meron na kayo natutunan na adjusting yung supplies, yung nagamit na supplies. I hope you remember na bumili ng supplies nung umpisa ng buwan, hindi nagamit. Pagdating ng katapusan ng buwan, ay nakita na konti na lang pala. So, kinompute kung magkano ang nagamit and nagkaroon ng entry, adjusting entry, debit supplies expense, credit supplies, di ba? Now, this chapter will discuss solely on the adjusting process in detail. So, tatandaan ha, in detail. What are our learning objectives? Ano ang nature ng adjusting process? Bakit mayroong adjusting process? Ano ang mga journal entries for accounts requiring adjustments? Ano-ano yun? How do you summarize the adjustment process? And now, I will teach you how to prepare the adjusted trial balance. Alam nyo na ang gawin hanggang unadjusted. Ngayon, adjusted trial balance in a service company. After the midterm, ang pag-aaralan na natin yung merchandising business. We will also describe, maiksi lang itong chapter nito pero in detail tayo. Pero puro adjusting lang. The vertical analysis, vertical, mula pataas, pababa naman. In evaluating a company's performance and financial condition. Remember nasabi ko na sa inyo, all topics, all chapters will have these formulas that you will be able to use, that you will use in your in your higher accountings. Kaya dapat tatandaan nyo. Importante matandaan nyo ang formulas. Okay. Now, let me describe to you the nature of the adjusting process. The accounting period concept requires that revenues and expenses are to be reported in the proper period or in the same period. So yun na. Expenses for that period should be reported miski hindi pa bayad, miski hindi pa nababayaran ng cash. Pero expense mo na yun. And all income should be reported on the same period. Under the accrual basis of accounting, there are two bases, accrual basis and cash basis. Yung cash basis, yung sinasabing kwenta-beho. Hindi natin masyado yung discussion. Kasi hindi practical. Dito tayo magdidiin sa accrual basis of accounting. Revenues are reported on the income statement in the periods in which they are earned. Accounting concept supporting the reporting revenues that they are earned regardless and when cash is received is called the revenue recognition concept. Nagbigay ka ng serbisyo ng buwan ng September. Service. Siningil mo. Hindi ka pa binayaran. Nung bayaran ka, October. Kailan mo income yon? Income mo yon ng September. Hindi na October. Nagkataon lang na nung bayaran ka ay October. Pero gumastos ka para sa income na yon. Like supplies, transportation, gasolina, miscellaneous expense, etc. Para sa income na yon sa buwan ng September. Kaya naman, yung income mo na yon ay i-report mo para sa September or what you call the revenue recognition concept. Yan na nga, sinabi ko nito sa inyo. Chapter 1 ba ito? The accounting concept supporting revenues, reporting revenues and related expenses in the same period is called the matching concept or matching principle. Proper matching of income and expenses. Na-discuss ko ito sa inyo. Ito naman yung sinasabi kong cash basis of accounting. Hindi tayo masyado magde-delve dito. Ito nga yung kwenta-beho, ika nga sa Tagalog. Revenues and expenses are reported on the income statement in the period in which cash is received or paid. Imagine, bumili ka ng supplies ng Enero, ha? Ginamit mo na ng ginamit. Pero nung i-report, nung i ah, kasi inutang mo lang noong Enero. Nung bayaran mo, March na. Pero may nagamit ka na ng supplies noong January. So expense mo na dapat yun ng January. Pero under the cash basis of accounting, ganyan yun. Hindi practical. Kaya dapat accrual basis of accounting ang ginagamit. Under the accrual basis, some of the accounts need updating at the end of the accounting period for the following reasons. Some expenses are not recorded daily. Yan. Some revenues and expenses are incurred at as time passes rather than as separate transactions. Tandaan niyo yung lupa ni Net Solutions na inupahan ng 3 buwan. Balikan nyo. Makikita nyo. Binayaran siya ng December, pero para sa December, January, February. Pero malinaw na yung 3 ibinayad sa kanya nung December ay para sa December, January, February. So pagdating ng December 31, ang kinikita pa lang niya doon ay yung para sa Disyembre. Malay mo, umurong na yung umuupa. Hindi niyo masabi, di ba? So, isa sa uli niya yun. Hindi niya income. Kaya liabilities yun. Okay? And some revenues and expenses may be unrecorded. Meron dito mga nakakalimutan i-record. Error naman yan. Isipin nyo, siguro bago kayo matulog o bago pagising nyo bukas, tingnan nyo ang bill nyo ng Batelec. Tingnan nyo ang bill nyo ng Batelec. Hindi kayo sinisingil tuwing katapusan ng buwan. Meron diyang nag-uumpisa ang kwenta ng 16 ng buwan hanggang 15 ng susunod na buwan. Pero kailan nyo babayaran? Halimbawa, ang bill niyo sa Batelec ay nag-umpisa ng September 16 hanggang October 15. Buwanan ng singil ng Batelec, di ba? So, October 16 pa kayo magbabayad para sa September 16 hanggang October 15. Tama. Pag binayaran nyo ng October 16, yung kalahati noon, gastos ng September. At yung kalahati, gastos ng October. Kaya pagdating ng September 30, may gastos na kayo. Hindi pa nga lang kayo nasisingil ng Batelec. Kaya i-record nyo yung expenses nyo mula September 16 hanggang September 30. Maliwanag. Analysis and updating of accounts at the end of the period before the financial statements are prepared is called the adjusting process. Adjusting process yan. Yun nga, i-adjust mo yun. Kasi siningil ka ng Batelec, kunyari ang bill mo tuwing mula sa hanggang 5 ng susunod na buwan. Siningil ka ng as-6 ng sumunod na buwan. Pero yung gastos mo nung as-6 hanggang katapusan ng nakaraang buwan, ay gastos mo na yun ng nakaraang buwan. Nagkataon lang babayaran mo ng sumunod na buwan. Kasi nung singiling ka ay on the 6th of the following month na. Now, ang tawag dyan, adjusting process. Now, you have to prepare entries, journal entries, to update the said account para mai-expense, mai-record mo yung tunay na gastos mo sa Batelec for that previous month. At ang tawag dyan ay adjusting entries. Now, let me give you some examples. Nasa book din to. Indicate with a yes or no whether each of the following accounts normally requires adjusting entry. Cash? No. Because yung cash. Pag binawasan mo yan, may binayaran ka. B, prepaid rent? Yes. Example nga yung sa Net Solutions. Wages expense? Yes. Bakit, sir? O, example. Nasweldo ang mga empleyado tuwing 15 at katapusan. September 16, September 30. Halimbawa, pumatak yung katapusan ng buwan ng Sabado. Siyempre, yung bayad mo dun sa Lunes na. Kasi kung Biyernes man ay 29, hindi pa sila dapat sumweldo kasi ang sweldo nila tuwing katapusan. So sa Lunes pa. So nung katapusan, Sabado, dumaan ang 1 at 2 ng sumunod na buwan, at 2 po na bayaran, pero as of the end of the month, kailangan mong maggawa ng adjusting journal entries to record the expense of that month. Okay? Office equipment, no, because that's capitalized. Accounts receivables, yes. Kasi meron kang naibigay ng serbisyo, pero hindi mo palang nasisingil. Nung bayaran ka na following month o sa isang taong ka binayaran. So, for this month, kinita mo na yun, pautang mo na siya. Accounts receivable mo na siya. Same is true with an earned rent. Unearned rent. Ikaw naman yung ikaw naman ang binayaran agad. Yung prepaid rent, nagbayad ka agad ng advance rent. Yun yung umupa kay Net Solutions. Ito naman sa unearned rent, binayaran si Net Solutions. Hindi pa niya kinikita yun nung bayaran siya noong December 1. Kinita na niya yung para sa isang buwan noong December 31, pero yung January at yung February ay hindi pa niya kinikita. Okay. Prepaid expenses. There are 4 types. Tatandaan niyo ito. Napaka-importante nito. 4 types of accounts requiring adjustment. 4 yan, 4. Prepaid expenses are the advance payment of future expenses and are recorded as assets when cash is paid. Prepaid expenses are expenses already paid but not yet incurred. Example, supplies. Bumili ka ng supplies. Dapat in-expense mo na yan kung nagamit. Nung bilhin mo 15 ng buwan. So, gamit. Pagdating ng katapusan ng buwan, yung kalahati pa lang ang nauubos mo. Nasa supplies yun. Kasi nag-debit ka ng supplies, credit cash nung magbumili ka ng 15. Pero kagagamit, nabawasan yung supplies na hindi pa nagagamit. Kaya naman, magkakaroon ka ng adjusting journal entries. That's number 1, tatandaan nyo, prepaid expenses are advance payment of future expenses and are recorded as asset. Asset mo yan. Sa madaling salita, prepaid expenses are expenses already paid, na bayaran mo na, but not yet incurred. Hindi mo pa nagagastos. Yan. Exhibit 1 yan nasa libro. Cash is paid in advance. Debit prepaid expense. It is an asset. Increase in assets yun. Oops. It is an increase in asset. But decrease in asset. Kasi bumili ka ng ibinayaran kang expense na hindi mo pa ginagastos. Hindi lang naman supplies yun. Minsan nagbayad ka ng advance renta. Expension dapat pero advance. Hindi pa yun ngayon gastos. Now, dating ng end of the accounting period, you need to adjust debit expense, credit, prepaid expense para mabawasan yung iyong prepaid expense na ito. Pagdating ng katapusan ng buwan, itong entry mo. End of period adjustment. Tingnan nyo maigi sa libro yan. Ha? Exhibit siya sa libro. Unearned revenues, number 2. Second, unearned revenues are the advance receipt of future revenues and are recorded as liabilities when cash is received. Ito yung, one good example nito nga ay yung kay Net Solutions na umupa sa kanya noong December, 3 buwan ang binayad sa kanya agad. Pero, hindi naman niya pakinita yon kasi for December, January, February. Future revenues. Unearned revenues are revenues already received, cash already received, but not yet earned. Prepaid expenses are expenses already paid, gastos mo pero nabayaran mo na in advance, pero hindi mo pa expense o hindi mo pa nagagastos. Unearned revenues are revenues already paid to you, but you have not earned it. Hindi mo pa kinikita. Pangalawa yan, ha? 4 yan, ha? Yan naman, makikita nyo rin, exhibits. So, debit cash, nakatanggap ka. Credit unearned revenue, liabilities. Baka kasi magbago isip na nagbigay sa'yo. Sabi sa'yo, bayaran kita ng ano for your services. Tapos bukas, ayoko na pala, akin na uli. So, ibabalik mo yun kasi hindi mo pa kinikita yun. Unearned mo pa siya. Kaya liabilities yun. Pagdating ng katapusan ng buwan, at the end of the accounting period, ide-debit mo na yung liability kasi kinita mo na. End of period adjustment. Third, pangatlo, accrued revenues. Ito naman, kabaliktaran to ng prepaid. Are unrecorded revenues that have been earned and for which, kabaliktaran naman to ng unearned revenues pala. Are recorded revenues that have already been earned and for which cash has yet to be received. Okay, nagbigay ka ng serbisyo ngayong buwan ng September. Kinita mo na dapat yun ng September. Binayaran kay Nobyembre. Pero, i-recognize mo na yun as income mo for September. Kasi nga, kinita mo na yun. Yung serbisyo mo, ibinigay mo noong September. Nagkataon lang na binayaran ka ng November. Accrued revenues are revenues already earned but not yet paid to you. No entry sa umpisa, pero may entry na pag natanggap mo na yung pagbigay mo ng serbisyo, no entry, pero kasi wala ka pa ng nor has cash been received. Pero pagdating ng katapusan ng buwan na hindi mo ka pa binabayaran, ay mag-e-entry ka na, debit accounts receivable na yun. May pautang ka na eh, credit revenue. Increase in assets, increase in revenue. Accrued expenses naman, kabaliktaran naman ito ng prepaid expenses. Are unrecorded expenses that have been incurred for which cash has not yet been paid. Ito yung example natin sa Battle. Ang tingnan niyo mga singil, hindi pare-pareho yan. Hindi tuwing kauno ng buwan at katapusan ng buwan dapat magbayad. Meron dyan nag-umpisa ng 15, meron dyan nag-umpisa ng AGIS. Halimbawa, nag-umpisa ng AGIS, September 10, ang singil ng Battle. So, ang tapos noon, ang kaisang buwan na noon ay October 9. Pero, sisingilin ka pa ng Battle na October 9. Di ba? So, yung gastos, yung kuryente mong nagamit na ha, mula September 10 hanggang September 30, ay nagamit mo na, na-expense mo na yun. Hindi mo pa nga lang siya nababayaran. Kasi sisingilin ka Sa 9 pa. 10, 9. 9. Hindi mo kasalanan yun na hindi ka nakabayad. Pero may utang ka na. Yun ang punto. Expenses already incurred but not yet paid. So wala ka pang entry habang na ginagamit ng kuryente. Pagdating ng katapusan ng buwan, may entry ka na. Debit, utilities expense kung sa Batelec, credit payable. Hindi pa nababayaran eh. Sa AGIS mo pa babayaran. Tatandaan yan, 4 yan ha. 4. Accrued expense, prepaid expense, unearned revenue, and accrued revenue. Tatandaan ha, huwag kakalimutan. Okay. Now, how then do you journalize the entries that for the accounts requiring adjustments? Now, ito yung trial balance, unadjusted trial balance ni Net Solutions as of December 31. So, tingnan niyo yan ha, na-discuss natin to, nakita niyo na rin ito. Cash, may land, di ba? May prepaid insurance, may supplies na hindi pa napapa-adjust, di ba? May unearned rent. Ito yung 316, 3 buwan. Okay? So we need to adjust this kasi nung bayaran siya, nung umupa sa lupa niya, December 1. Remember, para sa 3 buwan yon. Kaya naman, dapat ay i-adjust natin yan. Hindi na 360 ang unearned rent dyan. Nabawasan na yun ng 120 kasi kinita na ni Net Solutions for the month of December yung 120. Kasi 360, di ba? 3 buwan yun. At the same breath, yung prepaid insurance na binayaran niya nung December 1, yata ngayon, ay para sa 12 buwan yan. So, meron na siyang na-expense diyan. These are the accounts that we need to make adjustments. Kaya babantayan niya pag nagre-record ka, alin ba ang dapat may adjustments at the end of the accounting period. Kasi nagawa na natin yung unadjusted. So, ito yung chart of accounts ni Net Solutions. Dagdagan yung first 2 chapters, kulang nga yan. Kaya dadagdagan natin ang accounts. Okay. Insurance expense, depreciation expense, rent revenue, wages payable, and accumulated depreciation. Okay. Yung those supplies na 2,000 noong December 31 ay unadjusted yan. Some of the supplies were used, nagamit na. On December 31, account reveals that the amount supplies on hand is 760 na lang pala. So, managamit na siya na 1,240. Expense na yun. Used na eh. Hindi na pwedeng solid sa binilihan. So, anong magiging entry? Debit supplies, expense. Credit supplies. Supplies used for the month, December 31. Yung 55, yun yung account ha. At saka 14, kita nyo ito. Yun. 14. Yun. Yun ang posting reference. At pag ipinost naman to sa page, sa ledger, ang posting reference naman nun ay 5, page 5 ng journal. There is a decrease in supplies and an increase in expense, which is a decrease in capital. Okay. Yung prepaid insurance na binayaran noong December 1 para sa 12 buwan, December 31 na. So, naparaanan na. Baga dito sa atin sa Batangas, naparaanan na ang 1 buwan. 11 buwan na lang ang prepaid. So, kailangan mong i-adjust. Magkano yung sa 1 buwan? 200. So, debit, insurance expense, credit, prepaid, insurance, an increase in expense, and a decrease in assets. If you did not adjust the 1,440, ano yun? Yung 200 at saka 1,240, 1,440. Kung hindi nyo i-adjust yan, ibig sabihin, ang expenses nyo ay understated, mababa, kasi dapat mas mataas. At ang net income mo, kung mababa ang expense, ay overstated. And at the same breath, your balance sheet, your assets will be overstated kasi hindi mo binawasan. And your liabilities and your owner's equity is overstated kasi hindi nabawasan kasi hindi mo in-expense. Analyze niyo yan, ha? Now, nasa libro rin to. Prepaid insurance on beginning balance 6,004 and was debited for 3,006. Nadagdagan, ibig sabihin. Journalize the adjusting entry required at the end of the year, assuming that the amount of unexpired insurance is 3,250. So ano hahanapin doon? Yung expired. Kasi given yung unexpired. So 6,400 plus 3,600 minus the unexpired is equals to the expired. Debit insurance expense, 6,750. Credit, prepaid insurance. Remember, analyzing the transaction is the most important thing in accounting. Kung uubos ka ng isang minuto, ulit-ulitin ko to sa inyo. Kung uubos ka ng isang minuto para sa isang transaksyon, dapat mga 55 seconds ay ubusin mo sa pag-a-analyze ng transaction. Pag nahihirapan sa English, Tagalogin nyo sa isipan nyo. Okay, ito yung revenue niya. Yung umupa sa kanya. Ha? Ito yung umupa sa kanya, 3 buwan. Di ba? Binayaran siya December 1 para sa 3 buwan. So para December, January, February. 360, 120 a month ang renta sa kanya. December 31 na. So yung para sa December, kinita na niya yun. Earned na niya. Kaya i-adjust mo yan. Debit and earn, bawasan mo yung liability. And credit, rent, revenue, kinita na niya 120. Increase in revenue, decrease in liability. Pagdating ng January 31 ulit the following year, bawas na naman siya ng 120 kasi 3 buwan, di ba? So, you will see the impact kung hindi mo in-adjust. Understated ang revenue mo. Kinita mo na dapat in-income mo na yon. And net income will be understated. And overstated at the same time, ang liabilities and your owner's equity will be understated kasi hindi mo ni-recognize yung income. Balik-balikan nyo to. Nakakalito ito sa umpisa. Yan. Nasa libro rin to. Balance of unearned is 44,900. Journalize if the amount of unearned fees at the end of the accounting period is 22,003. So, unearned is 22,300. Ang hahanapin mo is earned. Kinita mo. So, 44,900 minus 22,300 is 22,600. Debit unearned fees, credit fees earned. Accrued revenues. Net Solution signed an agreement with Dunker. Walang record to, ha? Hindi na record. Kasi nga nag-sign. Noong December 15, $20 an hour. Pero, nakapagbigay na pala siya ng 25-hour services at ang usapan nila ay sisingilin sa January 15 pa of the following year. December 31 na. Malinaw na yung 25 hours na ito ay kinita niya ng December. Ha? Kinita niya yun ng December. So, it is very clear na miski Enero pa siya babayaran o Enero pa sisingilin, ay kinita na niya ng December ay magkano? 20 times 25 hours, which is $500. Debit accounts receivable kasi pautang na niya. Credit, fees earned. Increase in asset, increase in owner's equity or revenues and revenues. Now this is again, if you did not recognize, kung hindi nyo na-record yung pautang na yon, understated ang iyong revenues at understated ang iyong net income. On the same breath, your assets will be understated kasi hindi mo nilagay ang accounts receivable, and your owner's equity will be understated also. Please, balik-balikan nyo to. Kasi nakakalito ito. If you have questions, wala nagtatanong sa akin, ha? Kaya ang assumption ko, naiintindihan nyo. Yan. At the end, fees earned daw niya ay 13,680, hindi pa nasisingil. So debit accounts receivable 13,680, credit fees earned. Now, ito naman yung accrued wages. Accrued expenses to. Si Net Solutions, kung magbayad sa empleyado ay bi-weekly. Ibig sabihin, tuwing 2 linggo. Hindi sinasabing tuwing 15 katapusan. So kung magbayad siya ay tuwing Lunes hanggang Biyernes. 2 linggo at tuwing Biyernes. Okay. Noong December, ang binayaran niya ay $950 hanggang December 13. And $1,200 on December 27. Sir, bakit hindi sinama yun? Pasko, Pista ng Tanawan. Kasama yun. Kaya nga lang, meron pang pinagtrabahuhan ang mga tao niya ng Lunes at Martes ay December 30, 31. Nagkataon. Pero, ang pasweldo niya ay tuwing Biyernes. Kaya nung December 31, may utang siya sa mga empleyado na binayaran niya nung Biyernes, which is January 3 na. Makita ko sa inyong kalendaryo. Yan. Lagyan natin ng annotation. Okay. December, remember kung magpasweldo siya tuwing Biyernes, ha? Kasi walang bangko ng Sabado. Kaya malinaw. Biyernes every 2 weeks. Malinaw na nakapagpasweldo siya dito. Walang problema. Paid wages, December 2 to 13. Okay. December 16 to 27, nabayaran niya. Di ba? Ng 1,200. Yun daw. Pero, yung December, ang katapusan, pumatak ng Martes the following week. Ang pasweldo pa niya sa Agis. Sa Agis pa siya magpapasweldo. Yun. Pero, ang December 31, end of the accounting period, ay nung Martes. So, pumapatak na meron siyang utang sa mga empleyado niya na 2 araw na hindi niya kasalanan kasi ang pulong nila tuwing 2 linggo magbabayad. Diba? Malinaw yun. But at the end of December 31, malinaw din na may utang siya sa mga empleyado na 2 araw. Kaya hindi babayaran yun. Sa AGIS pa babayaran eh. Gagawa lang siya ng adjusting journal entries para sa 2 araw na ito. Na ano ang record niyan? Accrued wages yan. Expenses already incurred but not yet paid. So, paano natin pupuntahan yan? Okay? Debit, wages expense, 250. Credit, wages payable. May utang siya as of December 31 ha? At may gastos na siya. Kasi, magkano ba isa-isang araw? 250 daw yung 2 araw na yon. So, 125 ang isang araw. So, debit, wages expense, credit, wages payable. Increase in expense and an increase in liabilities. Now, nung January 10 na, magbabayad na siya. Ang babayaran niya sa January 10 ay kasama yung 2 araw ng December. Di ba? Malinaw. Balikan natin yung kalendaryo. Yun. Ang babayaran sa January 10 ay kasama yung 2 araw. Kasi every 2 weeks, di ba? Nangyayari kasi yan. Now, noong January 10, nagpasweldo siya. Debit wages expense, 1,025. Debit wages payable kasi binayaran na niya ang kanyang utang as of December 31. And credit cash, 1,275. Kung hindi niya inintradahan, expenses be understated kasi dapat may expense yung 2 araw pa, and net income will be overstated. And at the same time, kung hindi niya inintradahan yon o hindi siya gumawa ng adjusting journal entries as of December 31, doon sa 2 araw na yon, liabilities will be understated kasi hindi siya nag-record ng liabilities. Kaya dapat magawa ng entries. Ito yung scenario ito kung hindi niya ginawa. And his owner's equity will be overstated. Another sample. Pays 12,005 on Friday for a 5-day ending on that day. Nagkataon na ito rin, natapos ng Thursday. So may utang siyang 1 araw. Debit salaries expense, 10,000. Credit salaries payable, 10,000. Hanggang Huwebes. Kasi 12,500 ang sweldo niya sa 5 araw. Katapusan ng buwan ito pumatak ng Huwebes. As of katapusan ng buwan, may utang siyang 4 na araw. Babayaran niya bukas. Iba ng accounting period bukas. Malinaw. Again, I suggest na balik-balikan niya. Ang depreciation naman, ang mga assets ay habang ginagamit mo ay naluluma. Kakaiba naman ang mga fixed assets. Office equipment, kotse, building. Yan ay habang ginagamit mo ay nababawasan ang value. Siyempre, naluluma. Di ba? Yung mga silya ba, kauupo, naluluma. Yung kotse, habang ginagamit, naluluma, nagagasgasan. Yan, ang tawag dyan ay fixed assets or plant assets. These are physical resources, ginagamit mo sa negosyo at pangmatagalan. Kotse. Building. Example niyan ay yun nga, kotse, building, mga truck, office equipment, computers, mesa, fixtures, silya, computers, so on. As time passes, nababawasan ang kanyang useful life o serbisyo sa iyo. This decrease in usefulness is called depreciation. Nagde-depreciate ang value niya. Now, all fixed assets except land, mapwera lang pa ha, lose their usefulness, thus are said to depreciate. As a fixed asset depreciates, a portion of its cost should be recorded as an expense. I-expense mo na. This periodic expense is called depreciation expense. Hindi mo kakaiba ito kesa sa prepaid insurance or sa supplies. Kasi hindi mo binabawasan mismo hindi mo kine-credit kasi fixed asset. Asset yun, nasa normal balance, debit. Hindi mo siya i-credit. Gagawa ka ng panibagong account, accumulated depreciation. Doon mo ina-accumulate ang iyong depreciation expense buwan-buwan or taon-taon. Ang tawag dito ay contra asset. Contra accounts or contra asset. Kaya pag binangga mo sa fixed asset, makukuha mo ang net book value ng assets. You do not depreciate land. You do not depreciate land kung miski siya fixed asset. Bakit? Di ba ang land na taas pang value? Pero, example, alam natin na medyo mas mahal ang lupa sa Darasa kasi may highway kesa sa example sa Wawa o sa Balele. Maski magdala ka na magdala, hubukay ka ng hubukay ng lupa sa Darasa, dali mo nang dalhin sa Balili, ay hindi pa rin tataas ang value ng lupa sa Balili. Sir, mas mahal ng lupa sa Darasa. Hindi ganoon. Ang nagdidikta dyan ay ang merkado or market. Kasi bakit mas mahal sa Darasa? Kasi commercial. Mahal ng lupa ang binili mo. Kaya land lang ang hindi nagde-depreciate. Pero all others, building, store equipment, office equipment, transportation equipment, ay nagde-depreciate. At ang contra assets niyan ay accumulated depreciation, buildings, specify nyo kung alin ha. Accumulated depreciation, store equipment, and so on and so forth. Given naman lagi yan sa chart of accounts. Now, di ba meron siyang biniling office equipment, yung 1,800? Si Net Solutions. Ang estimate niya, you estimate the depreciation or bibigyan ka ng, in our succeeding chapters, you will learn how depreciations are computed. Pero sa ngayon, bibigyan muna natin ng estimate. $50 per month daw. So expense and entry niyan, adjusting journal entry ay accumulated depreciation expense 50, credit accumulated depreciation office equipment 50. Yun. Yan. Kaya pag binangga mo yung 1.8 na office equipment dito sa accumulated depreciation niya, ang magiging net book value na lamang niya ay 1,750. Net book value. Tatandaan niyo, NBV, net book value. This is the book value of the assets is equals to cost, magkano bili mo, less accumulated depreciation. Is equals to book value or net book value of the asset. Tatandaan niyo, madali lang yan. Madali lang ang formula. Again, if you do not depreciate, if you omit doing the adjusting entry for depreciation, your expenses will be understated, your net income will be overstated, and your assets will be overstated and your equity is overstated. Time out. Yan. These are exercises on the effects if you omit adjustments. Now, how do you summarize the adjusting process? These are all in your book as exhibits. Pwede nyo pag-aralan to. Ito mga entries. I hope you read it. Huh? Now, summarizing sa journal, page 5. Sabi ko kanina, page 5. Supplies expense. Ito yung supplies na nagamit. Insurance, unearned rent, accounts receivable. It's kinita na. Wages, yung 2 araw. And depreciation. And you post it then sa ledger. You post it. So yun, adjusting. Depreciation. Yun, adjusting sa accounts receivable. Adjusting sa supplies. Prepaid insurance. Wages payable. So on and so forth. Post this sa ledger. And then you prepare the adjusted trial balance. The purpose of the adjusted trial balance is for you to verify the equality kung balansyado ang total debit and credit. Remember, hindi lahat ng balansyado ay tama. Maaaring mali ang iyong account na ginamit. O mali kung saan mo na ipasok. And this is the adjusted trial balance of net solutions. Paano ipinasok yun, sir? So, sa working papers, i-unshare ko muna to. If you have an account, assuming you have a working papers, kita na yan, So, halimbawa, ABC, working papers, date. So, lalagay nyo dito, yan, natin ng konti. So, ito ay unadjusted trial balance, adjustment, at adjusted trial balance. Debit, credit, debit, credit, debit, credit. This is a 6-column working paper. 6-column. Ginagawan pa yan, meron pa yan. Income statement, and balance sheet. Hindi pala. Balance sheet malap na. So, lalagyan sa working papers nyo, halimbawa ay cash, halimbawa ito yung iba naman ay fees earned, expenses. Example lang to halimbawa ang cash mo 1,000. Pag nag-extend ka, extend mo rito 1,000 kung wala kang adjustment. Normally, wala kang adjustment. Accounts receivable, let's say meron ka dito 50, nadagdagan kasi nag-adjust ka ng another ng 100, pagdating mo rito, 150. And fees earned mo, credit yun, unadjusted 300. Doon mo naman extend yan. Kasi income statement yun. Yan. And kung halimbawa expenses, meron kang adjustment na 10, ma-adjust mo dito, 210. Diyan malimit nagkakamali kasi kumano-mano. Yan ang gagawin natin practice assignment nyo na isa-submit nyo. Okay? Meron yung sample sa libro which you should see. You should see it in the book. Now, tapos na agad ito Vertical analysis. Comparing each item in the financial statement with the total amount from the same statement is referred to as vertical, mula taas pababa. So, ikukumpara mo yung fees earned mo as compared sa iyong net income. Usually ganun. Katulad nito, example. Yung net income mo ay magkano diferensya? Ang iyong denominator lagi ay yung fees earned o yung taas. So, yung 45,000 mong wages expense ay 30% ng iyong revenue. So, sir, anong tulong nito? Tingnan mo, noong 2012, oo nga't malaki ang iyong revenue kaysa sa 2011. Pero, mas malaking gastos mo, 32% of your total revenue, as compared to the 30% noong 2011. Meaning, mas malaki nagagastos mo nung ikaw ay medyo malaki ang income. This is very important sa management accounting, financial management, sa mga management. Kasi dito mo makikita, ay ano ba pwede pang bawasan sa mga susunod na taon. Although, sabi nga dito, ay mas malaki ang gastos mo, pero mas maliit pa rin ang iyong net income compared sa 2011. Kasi ang net income mo ng 2011 ay 52.8% ng iyong kinita, ng iyong gross revenue. As compared to 2012, na yung net income mo ay 50.7% lang ng iyong fees earned or ng revenues mo, gross revenue. Malinaw na maski malaki ang iyong gross revenue, did not follow na malaki ang kita mo. Kasi medyo malaki ang iyong utilities expense at yung iyong wages. Siguro maraming overtime to. This is very helpful talaga sa financial accounting. Ang denominator lagi ay yung revenue. Yun. Okay. Tapos na. Uh, I will post this video, and at the same time, I'll give you some exercises. And I will post your assignment sa Moodle, kung anong assignment nyo, which you need to submit to me physically using yellow worksheet. Kung may question kayo, doon kayo magtanong sa group para nakikita ng lahat at baka tanong din yun ng iba. Pero sa Moodle ko ito, ipopost na. Okay, this ends chapter 3, adjusting. Make advanced reading for chapter 4, which is the completing, tama ba? Completing the accounting cycle. At magmi-midterm na tayo next weekend. You also need to submit that to me. So I'm giving you one assignment and one midterm next weekend. Okay, this is all for now. I will also post in advance the PowerPoint for chapter 4. Good evening.